This the link up. This the link up. This the link up. Welcome to the link up. This the link up. This the link up. This the link up. Welcome to the link up.
Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the LinkUp podcast with your host, Mr. King, Kana Woods here in the building.
What's going on, everybody?
And I guess we'd like to wish everybody, fine 420. I know whenever you listen to this, it's probably not going to be 420, but we're recording this on 420. So
it's a thought that counts.
Yeah.
You know, big ups to all the potheads, the weed smokers.
Yeah, all of those people.
All the whiz cleavers.
All the little wings.
Okay, no, that's a whole different type of joke, man. Now, let's not think soil the name of 420 with them kind of things.
Okay. So I want to say, if I seem a little slow or anything this podcast, it's just because I was celebrating the holiday. That's all it is,
If you're in the festivities, why not?
Gotta get in the mood.
Give the disclosure. Disclaimer, baby.
So anybody got any particular 420 plans, anything special? Not rough. Well, after the that's a hard way to celebrate.
So ain't much celebrated for me in today at least.
I got nothing planned in the daytime, but at night we going out. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of celebrating happening.
It's gonna be a rough night.
Okay.
But I get by it. It's Amsterdam. The city most probably gonna be full of smoke, more than normal.
And as we can just look outside, if the camera could catch a little glimpse of the outside, that's the thing. I think you got some of that in frame. But like the weather nice and thing today,
which is a real rarity up in here.
Like they had 2 slack come today, so the students and things, whoever it is, people got a little money in their pocket again. So people gonna be out and about.
But that's a good and bad thing for my case.
It's good for the company. Your pockets directly.
Technically the commissions, man on the second contract. So you get a little something on the side. But then when it comes to like actually being busy in the store,
glad to help.
Fuck you, Charlie. No, but in my there might like something like on a normal basis it'll come smelling like weed. Some of the customers will come smelling like they just come out of the coffee shop. I can't imagine what I could be like today.
I can't imagine. Think about the lines at the coffee shops today. I'm gonna be like
sunny.
Where Pidami is located, it always packed on a regular day.
Yep.
Like on a day like today, where all the regulars and stuff on top of all the tourists
and the weather,
it's on top of the fact that people got little money in the pocket again.
It's a lot, and it's a Friday.
It's all of these things just culminate into a packed city.
Jeez, and it's the worst thing about it. Nobody gonna pay. I have the population. I'm not laughing. I had a Chinese partner. Okay, I don't know if he's really Chinese, but I had an Asian partner next to me going in the metro going work, right? I don't particularly know what like rotten stir fry smell like, but I believe if I had known it would have smelled like that.
Wow.
Why these people don't binge? They need to start giving out free deodorant in the metro. It's impossible.
That makes it worse.
How we can make it worse?
Because if we're already smelling, you're putting a smell on top of a smell. It's just gonna be 2 smells fighting one another.
But no, I said like not like spray deodorant. I mean like roll-on deodorant.
I think what it is though is like deodorant in this country don't work like that. Like it works, but it doesn't take much for it to be like, okay, where was the deodorant that I put on and stuff like that? Because I've noticed it with myself and thing, like I wouldn't even do too much compared to how deodorant and SM would. I don't know if there's a difference because this is the odor and stuff that would be extra strength for a tropical climate or something. I don't know if that's the reason, maybe, but
could be.
To me, it just seems like it's not as effective here, and it's like, cause you just always see the constant respraying and stuff like that, and that's just for the people that use spray deodorant.
See, that's the thing. The spray ones that never last long.
Roll-on is
only by roll-on is the only thing that is
the spray don't last long.
Even the roll-ons, I find like they ain't all that popping.
You know what irks me? This gonna be a rant for like a couple of seconds, hopefully. When the weather is hot, like when it's 22 to 23, going to 24. Then you see people still walking around with their fucking winter jackets now. That's why they fucking smell like that, because they're sweating. And then when they're in the train, they take off the coat.
But you can't blame them. In this country, you can't necessarily blame them, because I feel like it is something. It do be like a drastic difference with like morning and thing. I feel like today was pretty reasonable. Today it wasn't really cold or nothing, but certain days in the morning does be chilly. Like the sun does be out, and then it's like the minute you're in the shade is when it's like. But the I was weather talking in this country just hard.
But this happened to me yesterday. Yesterday was 28.
Yesterday was hard. Yesterday was unnecessarily hard.
Today is supposed to be the same.
I had to go in the train.
I don't know.
And this girl came sit next to me, and she was looking fine. But then she took off her coat, dog, and I was like, "Please, Lord, kill me now." Like.
All of that.
And I couldn't move, because it would have been, because I was sitting in the corner and she trapped me, So if I got off, she would have got the hint, like, yo, I smell.
Maybe she needed the hint.
Like,
we have to start giving these people the hint.
She was too fine. That's the thing. I was taking one for the team.
It doesn't matter what she looked like.
All of that is like,
no, Jad. We got nobody.
Reminders, I gotta fix my bike. So I don't gotta be on the bus, so I don't gotta be in those type of confinement areas.
Nobody
and
trying to fit out.
But the thing is,
that is different.
The thing is, going all the way to Utrecht, you need to take a train.
But yeah, well, I haven't seen there.
Bye.
So,
me neither, though. Now that you say that.
But I investing for e-bike anyway, so yeah.
True that.
Why not just get a scooter and done?
No, because a scooter you need to pay insurance and shit, and I don't want to pay for insurance, so I just got an e-bike.
Yeah.
And I could pay the cheap bike insurance for the e-bike.
Yeah. Wait, you have to get bike insurance?
Yeah, if they steal your bike, then you get another bike.
Oh, like that?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Maybe I should look into that.
Yep, you should. In Amsterdam, for hella sure.
I mean, if you bought it, then you actually spend a decent amount on your bike and stuff like that.
Second-hand, so
yeah.
If you're buying an e-bike, then
I understand. That makes a lot more sense.
How much do those things go for? Like,
it starts around 700. If you want a decent one, but it depends on what you want. Like, if you want one, 700. 700.
What the fuck I see there?
It depends on what you want. Like, if you want the e-bike that let's say from here going to the city, then the 700 one is fine. But if you want one to be able to go like anywhere within Amsterdam, I wouldn't. Yeah, not interested. But anywhere within Amsterdam, then 1,000 something, and then it's like one charge, and then like you know for sure that you don't have to be pedaling the whole time.
I'll ask a dumb question, but then
go right ahead.
Is an e-bike all day? Boy, I was more happy with the charge done. Is a bike shot.
You could still bike it.
I ask my own question.
Everybody has one stupid question a day.
A day?
Only one?
One stupid question a day is like the minimum.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody has at least one.
I ain't gonna argue with you.
I have more than one, for sure.
Another thing to celebrate today, I just kind of remembered. K.O.D project dropped today.
Yo, yeah.
I started listening to it, but I don't necessarily want Kana because I was listening to it on the phone, like while I was showering in the bathroom. So it's not like proper speakers and things like that so to get a full, sound and things like that.
I haven't listened to it. I've downloaded it though, but I ain't listened to it yet. I want to like sit down and like legit just listen to it.
I don't know, like J.O.D and cool is cool and all that, but like for me personally is alright.
Yeah.
Like you're dropping an album for 20 years.
He's probably my favorite rapper.
Really?
Yeah. You know why? Like,
I guess
I can relate to a lot of his music, so that's why like that's what I look for in an artist. Like when I listen to the music, I can relate and like take that specific track and then put it in my life, and it vibes. So I can understand a lot of his tracks.
I feel you.
And when people say to me like, yeah, I would say that Kendrick Lamar is the better rapper overall. If you would take the two of them and put them next to each other, but for me still,
when you say better
lyrically, yeah, okay. Producing wise and stuff like that. But for me personally, just as
producing wise,
just his production in general,
production choices and stuff like that. Okay. But Cole actually produces.
Yeah.
Kendrick don't make no beats as far as I know.
But just personally for me, J. Cole is my favorite rapper.
True.
I don't think I have a favorite rapper. Now that I think about it.
Shout outs to Kendrick Lamar winning that award. That the first rapper
what
won.
What is that? Like, what
Something that journalists get. A Pulitzer Prize is something that's typically associated with journalism and like news and stuff like that.
Is it-
Writing, like
No, I thought it was more for people that like classical music and stuff like that.
it depends. I think there's different categories and things similar to like Grammy or whatever. Like there's Pulitzer or like the Nobel Prize, for example. There's a Nobel Prize in science and literature and this and different fields or whatever. I think the Pulitzer works kind of the same. I didn't look too much into that situation honestly because to me, I'm like,
I mean, it's a win.
All the Kendrick albums, this one, like.
Yeah.
it had the most attention and the most thing, I guess.
Like according to like the internet or whatever, I forget what article it was I was reading. It's like I know it's his best commercial album, like the most commercially successful album he's had, and that's not surprising. I understand that the type of songs that it had on it, the features and stuff he had on it, but I still feel like it's his worst album yet, and it's like for this album to be getting the praise like that,
Yeah.
like.
But
guess
you have to keep that in context too. That is his worst album. Still comparing with a lot of other rappers is still one of.
I know. I
So
like that's the thing that others always keep in mind because like I'm only comparing this. It's to me it's a bad album compared to
his
Kendrick's other albums, which is Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, and To Pimp a Butterfly, which was like masterpieces of work.
To Pimp a Butterfly was fucking insane.
To me, that's the one that should have got the Pulitzer and all of these things or whatever.
Isn't that the album that they cheated him even though award at the Grammys or something?
I think that was Good Kid, Mad City. I think it was Good Kid, Mad City the year when Macklemore had win it over Kendrick. I believe it was that one, and then they corrected it on To Pimp a Butterfly, and they gave him all the Grammys in the world on To Pimp a Butterfly.
That was a bit.
What was it? Damn, I don't even remember. But to me, like Damn just wasn't all that great. They had like two good songs, like I don't know, Duckworth one where he tell the story about Top Dog and whatnot. That one I enjoyed, and like the other song. But
yeah, the album wasn't bad, but it wasn't his best album for sure. But I mean, first rapper to win the award, I give him props.
Good stuff.
He deserves it.
But I mean, at least they didn't give it to like Takeshi 6ix9ine or something.
Yeah, I mean, if that's who they were to give this award to, then it would have been weird.
The way things going these days, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay.
Yeah, but that would legit. I would say fall play to that. But anyway,
I tell you, I would not be surprised because it's a bit ridiculous these days.
Speaking of surprises, two black guys got a surprise at Starbucks recently.
But that's a whole different something, but because I don't know where to start with that one. To be quite honest, I don't know. Because obviously, like, there's no... Anyway, for context, for the people who don't know what we're really talking about, this had a situation there in Starbucks. I think like it was last week, Saturday.
I don't remember exact date.
Sometime there. These two black fellas, was waiting for their white friend in Starbucks.
Another black friend.
Huh?
Can't use another black.
No, it was a white guy.
Because
also, the white dude.
who was explaining that he's a friend. So they was waiting for the white friend, and all of a sudden, police get called because it seems that they wasn't ordering nothing, or I don't know why police get called, but police get called and they get handcuffed and everything and let out the store. And everybody was upset because the customers was upset because the fellas legit didn't do anything, and they just get handcuffed.
And just to keep in context, 2 bike cops. You know how fucked up it is for 2 bike cops to arrest you, know? How are they gonna bring you back to the
Jump
fucking
in the basket?
Boy, maybe they have like the bikes with the double pedal, so then you like in the back with handcuff, you have to help the
like
cop pedal
the sidecar, you know.
Yeah, that look jokey though, you know.
But yeah.
That's what happened. Is I don't know. It like is the States. Maybe I desensitized to it, and so I ain't like outraged. When I see that, I was like, oh,
more racism.
Yeah,
it's basically
like
to me,
what
it's
else
just
is
like,
new?
oh well, another company on the list. And like, no need to get it. And like
okay, maybe this is a question then. What are you boycott Starbucks after that?
But
I stopped going to Starbucks long time.
I was never really a Starbucks person to begin with.
But in this situation, it's
I used to drink it now and then.
It's not a Starbucks policy. Because I always go and sit in Starbucks. I'd never get kicked out. This is legit the workers in this case.
Yeah,
looked
but
at
the
the
workers
situation.
are a representation of the company.
Yeah, that's true. But it's not like the company. They called the head of the company, and the head of the company said, "Take these riffraffers out. They're sitting in my store." You know, like it's legit.
Friends me was the manager who called.
Yeah, the manager called, but I'm not talking about. It's not like the corporate. Like it's
It was
different.
the,
With, it's,
the manager of that branch, just that particular location of Starbucks. Yeah,
and Starbucks is also a franchise, so it's like every store is it's
it's got its own owner. And stuff
it's
like
a different
that.
beast in general.
But then,
so you have
say
to.
you wouldn't boycott it then?
No, if it was a commercial that Starbucks came on, it was fucking racist. Because then that commercial will go to the big ups because they make the final decision. Okay, this is our campaign. We're going with this.
That's something that you feel more is like this came from Starbucks, the company itself.
The whole as a whole said this is our vision for 2018. That is like okay, that is a different story.
I see what you're saying.
But for me to just to go and say, yo, I know someone that owns a Starbucks. You know, like it's not. It depends on the context and what happened.
I see, you know, Twitter again was going off and be like, yeah, boycott Starbucks, and you know, you should support more black-owned coffee places and stuff like that.
And I agree with that statement completely.
I mean, yeah,
that's why for me it's like in the situation like you say, where you know somebody who owns a Starbucks and stuff like that. That I'll be like, you go support that Starbucks and only that Starbucks, and then because you know where the money is going and things to some degree.
But yeah, it just depends on the context.
To me, even when you're a franchise owner, is there still not a license or like some of you pay yearly to the head of Starbucks or them to continue operating as a franchise?
Yeah, I think
so
it's like 10% of your profits or something like that. I don't know.
So then in some ways, and be like, he could get boycotted. He could get boycotted too. I mean,
yeah,
that's the thing.
But that's the thing with franchise now. It's like that's the risk. That's the risk that you have as a franchise. Maybe you doing good at your store, but then somebody else doing something at this store, and it affects every other store.
Yep.
So it's always a risk.
But I mean, like, there's no. If you're talking about the case itself, there's no way we could. I don't know. For me personally, how I see it, there's no way anybody could view that and see that that's not racism.
Yeah, it is. Because I'm sure there was white people sitting there and they didn't order anything yet. They were just sitting.
But they had another video. I don't know if I yet see this one. A black partner, he was recording the people by Starbucks. A white partner had asked to go to the bathroom, and they gave him the code and stuff like that. And he went, and the black fella had went and asked for the code, and they didn't want to give him the code.
I saw that one, and that was like, okay, so 2 strikes back to back.
Exactly.
Like,
excuse me.
You just had the one incident out of the video come out. I don't know when exactly. Was it like an instantaneous thing that was like that same day that happened that it was going out? Or was it like this was an early incident, like the first incident?
I think it was the first, like when it happened, like the first day it went viral on social media and things like that. But
I don't know.
I don't know how people could see like not see racism in that and thing, but
I'm all about hashtag support like black owned coffee.
Black
I don't know if that was the hashtag, but I just created it.
I think you just make up that one there. Yeah,
I'm all for supporting that.
But
I mean, that should have been the case regardless. This didn't have to happen for that to be an initiative. But I mean, once it starts.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. And this is why when people ask me where I want to go on vacation, I tell them anyway but the States. There's some legit like
but I mean, let's be honest now. These cases is not everywhere. It's not everywhere.
No, but let me just say it like this. Like I could go almost any in the European Union. I have to be very specific. I can go almost anywhere in the European Union, and I might get some racism, but I'll still be alive. There's a chance I could go anywhere in the States and I might get shot for just being black.
Yeah.
And I could just be standing around and there might be something happening and they see a black guy standing there and he gets shot. And I could just be a quote unquote innocent bystander.
I haven't been to the States in a couple of years, but every time I've been there, it's been alright.
Yeah. Look, I've been in the States a lot. Like, full disclosure, got family in the States. But it's just like, and keep in mind, like, the majority of people are not like that, but there's still a big amount of people that are like that.
It's a big country.
So,
I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah, look, Trump got elected for a reason. But anyway, moving on, we gotta keep it happy. It's 4:20.
Yeah, we ain't going there. Why speaking of that, it's 4:20 today, and it's King's Day next week. What are you doing King's Day? King. Hey, see what they did? You see that?
You gonna be a king? You gonna be a king and celebrate another king's birthday?
The only king I acknowledge is me. that Martin guy, okay, and, you know, T.I. cool. You know, he's called himself the king of the south. You know, he kind of cool too. ain't much kings though. But King's Day, I don't know yet. I was thinking on possibly checking out the Jamrock thing or something.
Oh yeah, Jamrock is a festival too. Yeah.
On King's Day?
Nah, just I can't
King's
just
Night.
like just the King's Night party. I think.
Oh, I thought it was a festival.
No,
I didn't
Jamrock
check.
have a festival this summer, yeah. But
Yeah, the summer. But I mean, on King's Day, just like they having a
King's
King's Day party or whatever.
King's Day or King's Night?
King's
see
Night,
the
I believe it
You
is.
see the video of they got the king and then the ass bouncing in front of his face? Hilarious, no?
For those who don't know, actually, I don't think I'm the right person to explain King's Day. I don't really know what about. What King's Day really like? What's the whole point of King's Day?
Account to me was the Queen's. It
was Queen's Day.
and stuff, and it was had to do with was it the Queen's birthday? I don't
Something
even
like
know.
that. Something like that.
Let's see what Google has to say and stuff.
Hey.
Like that. Let me Google it. You could talk
I can't
Learn a
remember
little bit
last
more
time-
about
I
the
can't-
country you're living in.
I can't remember the last time I actually like celebrated King's Day.
I mean,
I think my
Holland-
first year. I think my first year up here.
like all I know that has happened.
I've been celebrating it since there was like even before I came here.
No,
Like,
but
we were celebrating it in Aruba too.
No,
so.
but the first year was a bit much for me, but like King's Day is ridiculous.
Yeah, according to Wikipedia, King's Day is a national holiday in the Kingdom of the Netherlands, celebrated on 27 April. The date marks the birth of King Willem Alexander.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
his
so the
birthday.
birthday-
It is the birthday, basically.
And it's like a week.
it
It's like a
wasn't-
week or 2 weeks apart from his mother's birthday.
I was
something
gonna
like
say
that.
it wasn't. It's on the same day. It's on the same day as Queen's Day.
No.
I
Or is it
don't
different day?
remember.
No. But it's in the
Queen's
same
Day.
month. It's in the same month.
So that means if the next king or queen birthday have to be in like
Queen's Day
December.
was celebrated on the 30th of April.
The what of April?
30th.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the next king or queen have to born in like December will be King's Day, King or Queen's Day.
Yeah. It just keeps shifting, I
Wow.
think. Or they just
Okay.
keep calculating it to all have kids in April.
The holiday was initially observed on 31st of August 1885 as Princess's Day, the 5th birthday of Princess Wilhelmina, heir to the Dutch throne.
Oh.
Okay.
So yeah.
like that's where it just changes depending on whoever is
Whoever
running
is.
shit.
Hey, that's cool though.
But hopefully somebody born in the summer because King's Day normally like, well, from what I see, it's always rain. Like I have yet to see a King's Day that ain't rain.
A couple of years back, it was rain for a period and then
Then it stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like 3 years ago, it was raining in the morning and then it stopped. But it was still like a little chilly, so you had to have a coat. But a raincoat, not like a winter coat.
But I think it'll be like maybe a little bit better this year. It fucking better be.
Yes, 'cause by all looks, it looks like it's gonna be like 17, 18 degrees, sunny. So
Not that bad.
I mean, the one thing you could always count on King's Day is for just it to be ridiculously packed,
and
full of people on drugs and alcohol, like super
But alcohol
drunk,
more than
like,
anything, and a sea
the
of
con-
orange. A
yeah.
ridiculous amount of people
yeah.
in orange, boy. The first time I see that, I was like, wow, what the hell is this?
I never engaged in it. I refused to wear orange. I just don't like the color orange.
I never wore orange, but I was in the crowd.
Yeah.
I'm gonna abstain from this conversation.
Yeah, so you was wearing orange.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, what you talking about? Like, do you see
Following
him not do it?
trends.
Yeah.
No, it's not a trend. It's
You know
something-
you can wear orange and then overdo it.
No. Just have you have like an orange shirt or like an orange scarf, like just something. But the thing is, I accustomed to it. No, I've been doing it since.
No.
Keep in mind, since like what, 3, 4? Like we always celebrated King's Day.
We don't celebrate King's Day,
Nope.
right?
Because
making
I'm
sure,
thinking,
'cause-
my thing was I don't own anything orange, and I was like, I'm not going to go buy none orange for this particular day.
Yeah.
Like orange is a color I would never wear on any other occasion. So
There's no reason.
I just keeping it consistent.
I don't wear black.
I can wear. I don't wear
Wear black.
I can't wear no neon orange because I'm black, and I can't wear orange. Orange has to be like a darker orange, and then it's good. Like the orange that they have on the Dutch team, that orange, it ain't bad.
I feel
The
like it's
team
too
that
bright.
never win. I mean,
I mean,
So we're going there again. Just
They
touched on it
can't-
last week. We're going there again.
They came
You know,
close.
World Cup coming
A
up,
lot
you
of
know, I
bunch
just
of
have
times.
to rub it in you know,
And
the
yeah, I'm
face.
paying
and
attention to what's going on with the NBA. Like I see playoffs start and stuff like that. Apparently,
You know, I just follow like the stats and things. I can't stay
yeah,
awake for the games.
little here and there.
It's too late.
like when it comes to basketball, the only thing I see is like from the NBA Facebook page, like when the little clips pass through my timeline, that'll be the most I see, like the highlights of top dunks of the week or
Whoever to be cussing on Facebook that day about the night,
Yeah,
the games the
yeah.
night before. That's how I did.
that has been my updates. That's like Sports Center for me, like the couple basketball, the hardcore basketball fans on my Facebook.
And he'd be like, okay, cool. This is what happened. All right, cool. And you know the score. I know who win. I know the what is 2-1 or 2-0.
Like, I think I might actually pay attention when it get close to finals. The
Yeah.
finals, I might
Yeah.
decide to be like, okay, let
Stay
me watch.
awake for this.
I might actually try to watch 1 or 2 games and then probably still gonna fall
I
asleep.
think from
Cause,
like the Western and Eastern Conference finals around there, I'm gonna maybe like tune in, or maybe like the semi-finals from each. I'm gonna start tuning in from.
You know
there,
the thing is like, and it's a shame because like when it comes to basketball and football, like those are my two most favorite sports, and like I can still follow football because I'm in Europe, but
and then
basketball
is forever. Like
Yeah.
they got so many different leagues and stuff. Like,
But
Yeah, man.
other leagues getting big too, but like the leagues, for instance, the China League supposed to be a big one now too.
like there's so many different leagues. If you're a fan of football, you can watch football all year round forever. I feel
yeah.
like there's always some league, some cup, some championship that you can watch.
This year gonna be the biggest world stage, boy. This summer, I don't know exactly where it's gonna be. I got a partner of mine that's saving up to fly to Russia to go watch that shit.
bye. You
Is that what it is?
Nah,
Okay, then.
That what it is this
yeah,
year?
it's Russia this year.
As a black man, I would consider all
He's
your
Spanish,
double
so it's-
think
it's
when you
okay.
go to Russia now.
What kind of Spanish? Like Spanish
But
from the country Spain?
No,
like
he Peruvian Spanish. I
Latin
believe.
America.
Okay.
Or got roots. But I mean, he grew up and born in Simartin. You know, shout out Nas, you know. But he got roots from over there. If I'm mistaken. If I'm mistaken, so sorry. But yeah,
You too.
Huh? Me too. Or?
You also got roots from there,
From where?
from Latin America.
I know. According to me, my La Vega supposed to be thing like Spain Spanish,
Oh,
and then the Guyanese part is like Guyana. So I didn't really know with that whole lot. I didn't know he was going without.
but I was trying to see if fish out something. Or
No,
they didn't
no,
know.
no.
I guess that makes sense with the spelling and stuff. But when I hear Laz, I just think French, you know.
La Vega.
Yeah, nah, man. Like
Yeah,
if
it
you actually
sounds
see the whole thing
Spanish,
is
Yeah, La
legit.
Vega, like it's. I mean, with how it's spelled and pronounced, thing like it sounds kind of Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
It's definitely not French, guy.
Like LeBron.
Because then French would be like La Vega or something.
Yeah, like,
like you would read it because that's my problem with French now. Like when we on another rant. Like because I can speak Spanish. When I see French words, for me, I automatically read it in Spanish.
but you're more comfortable in Spanish. That's why
Yeah,
you don't know French.
That's why I can't. I try to learn French. I can't because the Latin is so deep in me that when I read the words, like no, you have to read it like this. And I'm like no, you know.
What was that?
My,
That was me.
What the
And,
fuck?
it was me doing the stereotypical French sound.
That's a stereotype. What?
Oh, you really
in Woods Head, yes, that's what French sounds like. That's what French sounds
We
like to
lose
Woods.
any French followers we had there just now.
if you've been watching most of the videos right now, you know you can't take me seriously. You know?
Yeah,
With certain topics.
most.
Hey.
No, but you know, it kind of went off topic. You tell me it was Jam Rock, but what were you doing for King's Day itself? You said that was King's Night. What was you doing King's Day itself?
I don't know. I don't have nothing concrete yet. But before we continue, I believe we should break and then we'll be back to continue. It'll be like 28 minutes, 29.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
No need to explain that. We'll be back. All right, we're back. And if you're curious about that laugh, right? That laugh is just basically coming from me being confused and this dude reacting to my confusion because, like, I watched the man snap. I believe it was last night. And
Why
I
last
see
night
this
was
person pull out like a napkin with plantain in the middle of a club. So I was very confused as to what I was viewing. Like,
last night was cool. Let me just put it that way.
handing up
Last night was,
plantain like snacks in a club. Like I never saw this behavior before.
I thought she was joking.
Like,
But
is
home
Plantain
girl-
that serious?
Yo,
Like, is
the
Plantain that serious that needed to
Plantain
join
is
in?
life, Biggs, okay? Plantain is life.
I enjoy Plantain too, just like most Caribbean people.
No,
Like, don't get me wrong,
we
I
really
enjoy a plantain.
though, that we really enjoy
Are
plantain.
you people taking this to the extreme?
Let me
I don't think all of that's
let me show
necessary.
you something. Home girl come by me with 3 big things of plantain. Fry up all 3 of them. We already eat half of them going to the club now. I thinking like, you know, could we meet up with some other friends and you know, I thinking okay, cool, plantain done. You know, there's more mouths everybody get. You know, it served its purpose. It was a little snack on the way to the club. Cool. We reached there must be like 12, around 12 so. Bam now, but everything full swing. You know, everybody vibing, the party going good and thing like that. This must be like 1:30, 2 o'clock. I never been dancing and thing. All of a sudden, I see like a napkin get pulled out. I say what? Okay, cool. I ain't digging no scene with it. And then I see the person open up the napkin and start being like, I was like, what? They got plantain still? Yo, the whole crew that was there on that one side we was get plantain. The whole con had smelled like plantain for a good half hour.
This sounds like the story when Jesus took fish and bread and started sharing it with
people.
Yo, it was
what, 3 loaves of fish, 3 fish and 3 loaves of bread or something like that.
This is the Caribbean version of that, you know.
No, but you know, shout out to the homie that bring the plantain. I ain't gonna out you on, you know, the podcast and stuff like that. But
man saying whoever prepared the plantain had holy hands. That's what a man's trying to say. The man just giving a compliment.
Feeding the hungry, no.
That's it.
But hey, it come in handy. I ain't gonna lie. It was
suck up some of the alcohol.
That was a surprise. That one catch me a little off guard.
I will say this is probably one of the first podcasts that we cover most of the topics that we actually set out to. And like before the break, dog. Like, we touched on basically everything that we had. I mean, it wasn't much. Like,
but you know, it's all small, little light something. You know, normally
none was too deep.
Yeah, normally.
And I brought up a Jesus story. I mean, butchered half of it, but
yeah, I mean, normally it's going. You know, with us, it always end up in like politics at some point, and then it just goes all down.
Still half an hour, no.
No. We can't play it like this episode.
If it wasn't what you call it, like if those instances wasn't stuff that we so used to seeing, I'm sure we probably would have talked about it longer and things. It's just like the racial stuff, like things like that. I mean, it's like
I think it's because I think if it was up here, it would have been a little bit more of a shock maybe. But because it's the States, I think legit man just get desensitized. I'm like, all right. Like again. Like what else is new?
Yeah, nothing to add to that.
Yeah. You know, like it was racist. All right, but we see that that's a bad thing too. Cause then I don't know if you can keep. Well, I don't live in the States, so really truly don't give. But I got family over there.
Well, what you thought about the fact that they're supposedly taking out a day for all Starbucks employees to give them a sensitivity training and stuff like that? That was one of the things that they did in reaction to seeing what happened.
I think on the surface. On
like
the surface
is
a good something, but if you really look into it, one day is not going to change
a racist lifetime of ideology building and forming.
One day that's legit just something for Starbucks to cover their ass.
And but the thing is, like in reality, like what can Starbucks really do when this has been ingrained in them from kids?
Well, they could not hire it. I mean,
but how are you going to sniff out if the person has to do something for you to be okay? You're racist, but
or potential or
you know, like it's easy for us to just like say you have to do this, you have to do that, but
like,
realistically, like
what's your racist score?
From a scale of 1 to 10, how racist are you?
Yeah,
but you know, I think if you have to really think like that. I think almost everybody's about at a 4 now. If you had to put a scale on it, I think everybody's at like a 4 because we all have some kind of judgment about some kind of race, whether it's black, white, Haitian, Spanish, Chinese.
I feel like that's definitely true. We all got our own personal biases and whatnot.
Yeah, so it's like I think everybody about like a 3 or 4. But then it's when you start hating like 6 and 7 is where like
the extremism. That's what they talk about all the time. The extremism. And
I don't even think 6 and 7s are the extremes. 6 and 7s are the ones that are more outspoken. You know, those are they don't hide it.
Okay, so what do you consider a 6-7 racist then?
People that go on radio and talk racist shit. Because there's people that talk a lot of racist shit, but then they don't do anything to like.
Okay, so you would say like level 8, like 8 would be like physical harm, or like,
people that like legit go the extra mile to then like try to change policies
there's
and
a
things.
difference between racist and prejudice.
Yeah, but I think they when you reach 8, 9,
on
then
the
they
racist scale, it probably starts
no?
out at prejudice. You know, like the
So that prejudice is like
the
1 to 3.
Yeah, like around, maybe around there. That's like you're still dealing with prejudice and. Yeah.
But again,
you know the
so
people
then,
who does you cross the road, you see a black guy and stuff. You know the people who maybe clutch the purse a little closer. I don't know if that's necessarily racist yet.
but then
I don't know.
But again, what was number 8 then? If we had to scale it, what would be 8 on the racist scale?
I would say
The
number
clan
8.
members that be lynching people, I guess maybe like.
But man, that would be like 9, man. That's extreme. You
I
taking
don't
life
know.
away because you don't like the color of somebody's skin.
No, but look, like
I find that's like
10,
KKK is like 9, 10.
No, I would say 10 is like Hitler level, you know. You know, like that's like
genocide against
like,
a whole race. And
Okay.
Power also needs to be included. Like, what would a person with power do?
Yeah,
to like
that's
like,
why I think would be a 10 because like the average person, you could be racist, but how much can you really do with you if you be like, I don't like these black people or these N words or whatever and stuff like that. How much can you individual as an individual
But
really
that's
do
the thing, so I mean,
by just having that?
For it to have to be around those things, they have to make extreme something like action has to be taken.
Yeah,
yeah,
but like
I feel like for 10s and them ones, like a 7 and up, I feel like you gotta.
But that's the thing, lynching and them kind of ones, that's kind of extreme. Like you're just taking a life.
So then now that's maybe 11. I
No,
think that's still
no.
gotta be. That's a 9 in my
That's-
opinion.
Okay, no,
Hitler's-
if we go from 1 to 10,
if Hitler's a 10,
okay,
If
we use
Hitler's the
Hitler
10.
as like the
the
most
pinnacle of
extreme.
racism.
yeah, which every racist tries to achieve apparently. But
Then okay, that's 10. But yeah, maybe
Doesn't
lynching would
feel
be
like
like,
lynch will be 8.
8, because there's
then what's 9 then?
like
There's
What was it in
mass
between? Was
genocides that's just not as to the
how
extent
do you
as
call
what Hitler
those?
did.
How do you call those camps?
The concentration camps?
Yeah, boy, that's a 9 right there.
Yeah, but that's like Hitler
but
level.
there's more people doing that. No, Hitler level is like you have concentration camps, then you have the Gassins,
Who
then you
the
have
panel was in that killed like 11 billion? Okay, like that's a lot, but like 11 million Africans or something like that. That killed that.
like King Leopold in the Congo and stuff like
Yeah.
that. The Belgian people, the
Yeah.
Belgians and the US working together to do all kind of nonsense.
I
in
think
the
maybe
Congo.
Hitler is 9 then, because this man killed a lot more people than Hitler. Almost twice the amount of people Africans as Hitler killed.
And, I think-
Jewish people.
Cecil Rhodes was another one for the South Africans. Got
Okay,
based
I
on
don't
who was the guy in
I like the
Asia that
Rhodes
killed a bunch
scholars
of
and-
people too? He
Genghis
killed
Khan?
more than everybody. Like in
From
terms
where?
of
Asia.
that's like
yes, it could have been who used
Yeah.
himself. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like-
that's like long time ago.
Yeah, but-
I know if they
that's
had-
still-
but I know if they had like the proper recordings for that one.
yeah, but if that's the amount that they got to without even having like
Proper
yeah.
records, But I mean the same thing with the part from that do the African thing. I think King Leopold, they don't know the exact numbers of how many people Africans he actually killed.
How long ago was this?
I had
I
bad
don't know.
dates.
I don't have the timeline either. Could probably look it up and see when was. I don't remember which King Leopold it
Was this
the
at
first
least before Hitler or after Hitler?
It's supposed to be before.
one. Yeah, I would think before. I think
Why don't
I
we?
could be wrong. I could be very
Why
wrong.
don't I don't know about this shit now.
1865 to 1909.
Boy, that was around Hitler's time now.
When King Leopold was busy killing
Yeah,
black
King
people.
Leopold II, King of the Belgians.
Okay then.
Hitler was in
Around that time period.
World War II. Was around that?
World War One /
What time you say
World War II?
18 went to when? 19 something?
It was
1909.
1865 to 1909.
Little Hitler was already
I
doing some
think,
random
but
stuff.
I wasn't like
around
1940s or 1950s.
Yeah, this is why-
World War
this is
II
why
was
I
like
check into
1940s or 50s according to me.
there. No, but I mean,
I could
little
be
Hitler
wrong.
was already like killing birds and pigeons. That's what I
He
mean.
was alive, yeah. He was alive.
Man
but
was snapping necks.
When was Hitler born?
He wasn't.
The stuff, the people be like, why was I Googling all of this?
Yeah, whoever tracking your information probably like, what the hell?
Yo,
'Cause you know somebody
Hitler was
watched
born
this.
in 1889. So
Yeah.
he was born. He was like at least maybe 10, 20 or so
Stepping-
by the time the
killing
war,
pigeons
the
and
genocide
cats.
So
done.
he was supposedly in the army as well. So I think all then he was already like deployed and stuff like that.
You know what funny? We won't talk about Hitler for 420. I never thought this was going to be something we would talk about. But if the man passed away, let's say 6 years before World War II, we would be talking totally different about him. Because after World War One, Germany was just like in complete chaos.
I think
money wise and everything
would be different.
Yeah, but I mean, Hitler would be the guy that brought Germany back to like.
Yo, but imagine now, people like that does really make you like. I don't know. For me, at least, it's make you really seem like one person could really change the world.
Yeah, if he like
one person could legit change the world, Jad.
You know, the thing is like it depends who is in power, right? Because like if you have we all see those crazy people in the bus or in the train, you know, like they're crazy, like. All these black people, we need to kill him with fire.
I know.
You know, this is like it's
I've never called this such a person.
no. Like it's an example. Like when you see these crazy people in the trains, like talking crazy shit, or like you're happy that those people are not the people in power. Like the crazy peoples usually are the people you see in the bus or outside walking around saying crazy shit. Like what the crazy people did that. But when one of those crazy people amass power, that's what when that shit. When
I don't
happens.
think it's necessarily that, because to me it's more like what often happens when you look at any world leader. Why is there always such a deficit between what world leaders do and what the average citizen of their country wants to do? Because we know that the average citizen in the US does not necessarily want to be in wars for like 100, 200 years, however long the US has been constantly at war. The average US citizen don't want that. Yeah, but the politicians still doing it and continuing these wars and continuing deploying the troops all over the
money.
world.
Okay, okay, cool. Money is a motive, clearly, yeah, but at the same time, don't forget now, those people in power privy to a lot more information.
I'm just talking about why it is that these people don't represent the average person, because these people live a completely different life. They're so removed from the average everyday person's struggles and what they might be dealing with and their worldview. They could, in my opinion, politicians can never represent the population of the people, as long as the minute you become a politician, you get this ridiculous salary bump. At least if you look at St. Martin in particular, I mean, we know how that works with the ministers and parliamentarians and shit like that. No, you don't got the average everyday person problems. You're in a different class, so now you thinking from a different perspective, like, okay, what's my problems? No, now what the average populace may be going through, and I feel like that's a process that just is bound to lead to issues.
You know what? Also, the problem, especially in the States, the problem is
how we still get political.
Because
it's who we are.
I told you, it was still half an hour. Don't jinx it. You jinxed
who
it.
We are.
But the problem with the States is like the politicians are not beholden to their constituents. They're beholden to the people that finance their campaigns.
True.
And that is the problem. If the politicians were held accountable only to their constituents, then we would not even have the discussions, because all the money was only coming from the from the constituents and not from the big oil companies and the arm companies and all that.
Bernie was such a big deal, because like when I look at the breakdown,
I'm sorry.
but yeah, like when they had look at the breakdown of like Bernie's the amount of money he raised for campaigning and stuff like that versus whoever else was running, like Bernie was like a lot of small donations, like a large amount of small donations from just the average person and things like that, compared to like you just getting 3 or whatever super huge donations from all your billionaire friends and things. I know there's a cap on how much they could actually be donated.
Yeah, but there's like dark money and all that shit.
Yeah,
like there's ways,
super
loops
PACs
around
and all the
it.
other things like that.
Build foundations and then put the money in the foundation, and the foundation gives the money in the foundation to another person. You know, there's like all these loopholes and things. Yeah. But anyway, it's 420.
No, my whole thing was just crazy how like one person could make a whole big impact.
And it all depends on like what lens you're looking through though, in a way. Because like the
Martin
to
Luther
kind of
King.
bring you back to the meme thing or whatever that had all of that. It's like every culture feels that their history is the most important, or that the tragedy that they suffered and stuff like that is the worst thing ever. Like Hitler for Jews, when it might be whoever else that was killing black people and stuff like that.
Or Japan with the nuclear missiles. You know,
because
like
that's who Cecil
shit.
Rhodes was. Cecil Rhodes is like one of the people who kind of laid the foundation for apartheid in South Africa. Like when it was called Rhodesia and stuff, it was after this Cecil Rhodes guy, and like there's the Rhodes Scholarship that is awarded to certain people and thing, and it's based on Cecil Rhodes and thing, and it's like certain people praise this guy and be like, as I said, there's all these things named after him.
Like Castro and the
yeah, Castro, that's another great example of a controversial person. Some people who
worship the man, and some people say that he's just a dictator. So I mean,
yep.
But it's just like how you were saying it depends on how you choose to look at it.
Yeah.
To me, it's all about what culture you belong to for the most part. Like,
I wouldn't necessarily, okay, well, why I wouldn't say that is because you got like people from his, like the Spanish people from Cuba stuff, like there's a split between them as well. Like
Yeah,
some people
and
really hate him and some people
It depends.
and
Then it depends on the
oftentimes,
family
like,
and thing.
a lot of times where that split happened, it was somewhat racial as well. Like there was the white Cubans and stuff was treated a certain way, and black Cubans was treated differently in Cuba, and that's a lot of where it came from. Who had the more of the Spanish lineage or whatever? Who was the colonizer and who was the slaves? That was kind of where the that was where the division was a lot of times. Who had the slave ancestry? Who had the colonizer ancestry? And yeah.
Right.
Happy 420, y'all. I just want to.
Sorry,
you have a person on the podcast who's not a fun person. I just gotta be real. That's not my.
No, but yeah, but it's also the topic. Like when you like, look. Next time, Sean, you got two people that love.
Point, okay, it wasn't supposed to go down that road.
You know, you have two people that love talk about politics and shit.
I mean, me too, right? But Lord, that was neat to be doing.
So what you have been listening to lately, music wise?
I've been listening to, because it's summertime. I ain't gonna lie, I finally really sat down and listened to like Cardi B's album and thing.
The music is a fun topic.
Yeah,
music is like that. That's the fun side of me, I guess. It's a fun side.
And I think because it was sunny outside, I think because it was sunny outside and the weather nice, and then the song I Like It Like That really like I vibe with that song a lot.
I gotta listen to it.
Yeah, it's
Because
a big tune.
Yeah,
Got a sample in it from the song. I like it like that.
like it like that.
Nah, I ain't gonna say it.
I like it like that.
He doing a perfectly good rendition. You don't need me to do it.
But the song is good. It's a good track.
But I still listen. You see, unless somebody really like let me hear something new, I just listen to the same shit over and over.
Still on Tory Project.
I just still listen to that. Yeah,
nothing wrong with that because I was listening to it as well.
But
still listening to the song that the album that you were introduced
from Bob.
to?
Yeah. I still on that. I still on that. So I good. I a simple person when it comes down. Like once I find something I like, I just stick to it.
True.
So like I ain't really much about exploding. Like how are you here talking about Cardi album? Like okay, cool. Maybe I'm really legit and sit down one day and try to listen to it. But apart from that, I good. Like I still have to download the Black Panther album. Like that's months now.
True. I actually saw the movie.
And
you finally see it?
Yeah, I actually saw the movie.
Christ, man, about that time.
And
You don't find it live up to the hype because I see you're commenting there on Facebook or on some people post there. It was you. Yeah, man, I think it was you.
I don't recall. I don't think I had commented on our Facebook about Black Panther yet, or I could be wrong.
When did you see Black Panther?
But maybe a week ago or 2 weeks now. Maybe I watched that.
I swear I see you say something along those lines. I didn't live up to the hype. Like,
but the movie was good. The movie was good. My main issue with the movie was the CIA's involvement. Like, I saw Dr. Umar. I'd watch a video before I watched the movie. I'd watch a video with Dr. Umar Johnson, giving his thoughts on the movie and what he liked and didn't like and stuff like that. I was going
to watch that, but I was like, eh.
And then I've he had included so much spoilers, and I was like, okay, well, I feel like I gotta watch the movie now and stuff because I know already half of the movie and thing. Yeah. So now I watch it the next day, and I agree with a lot of his criticisms. One of the main ones was like, yo, you can't have the CIA involved in a Black Panther and basically have them in such a heroic role and stuff like that. The Agent Ross dude, he basically saved the day in the end of the movie. Like,
yeah, but he But you see that
on top of teaching him, basically showing me, okay, now you're one of us because you know the Wakanda salute and stuff. I'm like, no, I was not a fan of none of that. The fact that he was even there in Wakanda, I agreed with Okoye. I was like, no, that was his choice to save you. You didn't have to bring him along and stuff
but
that.
It wasn't necessarily that the CIA. I think I could understand.
The CIA was responsible for breaking up the Black Panthers, and you want to give the CIA such a significant role in the movie Black Panther and stuff like that. No.
Yeah, but he taken the name Black Panther and the movie as the same thing.
And you think there's no connection between the two?
Yes and no at the same time. Yeah, because of the whole Black Pride thing, which is a black country and all that kind of thing. There I see the similarities, but at the same time, it's a superhero movie. So like, there got to be some kind of disconnect between the two. Like you can't, like legit, not everything got to be that serious, dog. Maybe that's just my view.
And you know, the thing is, like, I keep like with the whole Black Panther thing. Look, if it was
the second movie for the CIA to rob, I'll steal Wakanda. Like this was something that Umar said. Unless they're setting up for the next movie to show how Wakanda is going to be infiltrated by the CIA and robbed of all its vibranium, then I feel like the way this one made sense. I feel like they set up perfectly for that.
Not
but the thing is,
some entity.
The thing is that what I keep in mind is like this whole thing was mostly made by black people, mostly the movie. So whatever criticism you have, like people have about like how the thing was written, you have to keep in mind that it was written mostly by black people. So
that was still produced by Disney, which they needed to include some white hero in the movie, otherwise that movie was not going to get made.
Does the comic reflect anything with the CIA? Is there a CIA in the comic?
I can't tell you nothing about that because I'm not deep into the Black History thing. It could have, the Black Panther.
Okay, well you see this. Okay, well this is how I see it at least. The partner was from the CIA. He gets saved to the whole thing. And he kind of like defect from the CIA and become like part of the crew. So it's like he was a good guy. He was like a bad guy turned good.
That was never stated. He never made it seem like, okay, I'm done with CIA or like I'm turning my affiliation.
It was he could, because he could have called back. He could have radioed and he could have called the CIA or his higher ups or whatever and tell them about the vibranium. He could have done that, but he chose not to. So maybe that's why I see it more as like he was a bad guy, quote unquote, FBI and CIA, and he turned into one of the crew. Maybe, but that's how I see it.
I didn't even think about that. Anyways, I found it actually hilarious when, like, for me the highlight with him was I didn't even think about the whole saving thing with the thing. That was
the whole saving thing with the thing.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. The funny part was still like, okay, he's there, but like people are still punking him the whole time. That's what I found funny.
But of course,
that was great. That's how he was supposed to be treated. Like when he went by Umbaku places, like you don't speak here. Who is you, Pafno? Who is you?
Umbaku, my favorite character in the movie. Umbaku was my favorite.
He was cracking up. But are you done?
Are you done?
You see, I was gonna ask.
He a vegetarian too, no? That's why I vibe with him so much. But yeah,
of the gorilla tribe.
Yeah.
You see, I want to ask a question, but afraid of where you gonna go.
Why not?
Just do it.
Okay. Since we on the whole African liberation type vibe, right? What are you feel about the Africans the South African people say that they're going to potentially take back the land and kill, if necessary, the white people to get back the shit in South Africa?
Yeah, like Nike, do it.
Okay. What else was
did they pay for the land they're using still? So
just playing white devil's advocate. Don't you think that's doing the same thing?
It is.
So you don't feel as like tinging the cycle over and over?
I mean, if the owners of the quote unquote owners, because they never paid for it, of the land said, you know what, the way we acquired this land was not legitimate. Let's either we fucking pay a large amount of money or we just leave. And we'll be like, okay, but if you're still there, you ain't contribute shit for the people that live in there. You ain't pay for the land that you stole, and you ain't maybe, let's say, 3/4 of your revenue going back to the country. Okay, fine. Then you're paying for your ancestry's past mistakes or what the fuck. But that ain't happen. So I understand if they're giving you an ultimatum of, hey, you stole this, we taking it back, it belongs to us. But it's like the same thing with like, if with in the Caribbeans with all the islands
in the
were
what?
like
In the what?
in the same thing with the Caribbeans when
In the what?
in the Caribbean.
Oh.
Caribbeans, there's more than one.
Yes.
Yeah, but still, man, that term the bond media is Caribbean. Is the
No,
fucking
but no, that was a joke. Like,
Yeah.
there's only one Caribbean.
Yeah.
Like as far as I know.
But when you say the Caribbean island, yeah.
But that's why I keep asking him in the what?
Yeah. Thanks for correcting me.
Jesus
but-
Christ,
but
man. Yo, that'll piss me off. Like, where's the other Caribbean?
Eh,
Where it is?
There's sections in the Caribbean. Anyway.
Look, shut up.
There's Caribbean 1, Caribbean 2, you know? You were in the dark, buddy. No, but
Yeah, you were saying the same thing that happened in the Caribbean.
yeah, like what? So if all of the, let's say England, the Netherlands still had like, kind of still do, but if we didn't have the option to leave and they said no, we own you.
In what
How
way?
would you feel? How like?
I don't. Okay.
What reaction?
Why? Okay, I don't know. Okay, I don't know about that, but I guess why I asked the question specifically is like, I looking back at like how like my family is, and if you have to look at it, my father is white. My mother is my grandmother, and mother's side is black. So I here thinking, suppose I was in a situation like that, right? And I happen to inherit let's say my grandfather, the white man, he take the
white
land,
devil.
he take the land or whatnot, and like somehow it get passed down to me, and I mixed greed between the two, and then I have to come and tell me, yeah, we taking your land because your grandfather take that. I'd be upset.
Yeah, but they have a
And you
point.
could be rightfully upset.
Yeah,
Because
you,
like
you could be upset
I was
because
like,
you'd be like,
but-
yeah, you didn't do nothing and
I
stuff
didn't,
like that.
but that's my whole shit. But
yeah,
that's my
but
whole
at
shit.
this-
I didn't do shit.
yeah, you didn't do shit.
When
but
you look at this world, how it's built today, and when you look at any developed nation and stuff like that, you can't, like, this is basically what white privilege is. Like, when you look at this country and look at all these beautiful architecture and all of these things in this country, if it wasn't for the wealth accumulated in the 17th century, I believe it was 17th and 18th century, when the VOC was popping and the Dutch was on top of the world and shit, and they was like,
Shipping kings.
yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck was they shipping? I want them to be completely honest. What was in them ships? We all like during that time. What the fuck was they spices? Really? You really want to believe that y'all accumulated all that wealth
Gold and
purely
black- gold and
off
black
of
people.
spices? Okay then, but
But you see, that's the thing. Like, that's why for me is
it always is. I say that to just be like it's
Yeah,
context. I
understand for sure.
like,
But I
all
bring
this
up the
wealth,
whole.
it came from
I bring up
somewhere.
the whole thing in general because I kind of. I on the fence with that one because at one side it's like, boy, I feel them now. All you do, all you take all your shit back. Like,
But
go
you know,
through.
I think the difference is like with this specific case, it's like it would be like if the Netherlands was still taking ships and taking slaves, putting them in the ships, and we seeing that fuck still happening, and we ain't doing shit. Because that's what's basically still happening in Africa. They still have the land that they stole. They ain't relinquished the land. They still doing the shit they doing. They taking all the riches, selling it out, making money, and what happening with Africa?
Yeah, okay.
Because it's still visible there.
Yeah, but
and that's the fuck up part of the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. I legit just asked because I like I said, I am on the fence about on it. Like one point is like, yeah, but I man go through on the next point is like, yeah, that kind of fuck up for the person who like had nothing to do with it.
To me,
Go to school, study, do something else.
That's rough.
hey.
That's rough.
Like, I mean, it's a messed up situation, but it happens to many people. Like, governments do this shit all the time, just reclaiming people land, and like that was what the whole thing in the States was about, the whole Dakota Access Pipeline thing, where they wanted to run the oil pipeline through the Indian preservations, the sacred land, and
you know
things
how many
like that.
times the pipeline leak already?
Yeah, but
Yeah, like,
10 something.
and they
So-
protest and protest and protest, and it's like, okay, cool, that doesn't matter. We still going to do this because, and again, another point of it is like the will of the people is never reflected in politics. In what the politicians, if the corporations, the people with the money, that's how decisions get made. It's like we want this oil money and shit, so we don't care about health.
And let's be honest. The people that's still on this land, right? How much money you think they already have saved up?
Not a lot. No, that own the land?
Yeah.
Oh, they got shitload of money.
Yeah. So
Oh,
fuck
they
you.
got shit. Yeah, but okay.
no,
Why
yeah.
again? Why I guess why too I bring it up because the man was talking like extremes as like killing people and things like that.
Hey, if they don't want to relinquish the land,
How did they get the land?
yep.
Yeah.
Like Killmonger said, how did y'all people get this shit?
Yeah.
How much did you pay when before it got in this museum? How much, like?
But are you not becoming what you hate?
Hey, look.
So how has Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King's philosophy worked out?
Hey man.
I mean, both of those is
this is a Malcolm X situation.
both of those is advocates of the whatchamacallit, the turn the other cheek type of Gandhi philosophy, where it's all about peace and peaceful protests and stuff. Don't get violent and all of that things.
You need a mixture of both.
Yeah, like they had the Malcolm and the Martin.
If they look, they gave them an ultimatum, right? Hand over the land, and if you resist, we gonna kill you. It's the same thing. Like let's go to the extreme, right? Let's say you're a rapist.
Wow.
And you're holding kids hostage, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a cellar, you're holding kids hostage. And the police surrounding yeah, but it's
I don't know what the scenario is.
No. And the police surrounding the facility, and they got snipers pointing at you. They give you 2 ultimatums. Mm-hmm. Let the children go or we kill you. That's basically the same situation right now. You're holding the land hostage. We're giving you 2 ultimatums. You release the land, and if you resist, you die.
So what's a middle ground? Like, is there no way?
Look, you cannot steal something and then expect to get sympathy.
I think part of the problem as well is not just about the land accumulation. It's also, it's not just about the land itself, but it's just about the wealth distribution and thing. It's the fact that it's literally just a small minority of the Dutch Afrikaners or the descendants. Can you even find that term so ridiculous? Wow. That is a term to call a bunch of white people in this country. They're known as Afrikaners. Like, that's their ethnic group. Like the white South Africans, the ones, the descendants of Dutch people, they're known as Afrikaners. Like the language that they speak is Afrikaans. It's like the way you would say it in Dutch, kind of like Afrikaans. That's the language. And that shit is crazy. A bunch of white people being known as Afrikaners and stuff, and the other people got another name. But all of that is why I didn't feel like when the H&M thing had happened and the reaction was what it was when the people had do what they do in the store and vandalize a bunch of shit. I'm like, I can't even necessarily be mad because South Africa has a unique racial history compared to other countries in the world. Not to say that they're the only ones that had a system of separation and things like that set up. But I mean, the level that it was in South Africa was like, shit was extra extreme over there. Like the system of apartheid over there. But
okay, I can't really see nothing. I don't know. For me, it just tense on both sides. I just try to see like if it's possible to find like a middle ground.
I think maybe if there was a system where it's like, okay, all white farm owners and stuff like that, if they actually had black people working the farms and stuff like that, so that if there was a peaceful transfer, if there was a peaceful transfer of power and stuff like that could happen. Because I don't think necessarily that, I don't know for sure, but I don't think that there's much black people necessarily seeing benefiting from the profits of these farms. How they currently set up is mostly like we keeping it white type of thing. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if that at least were to change, maybe then it could kind of show like start to work together type of situation to be like, okay, you got some black people that own some of them at least,
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that would be somewhat of a middle ground.
It's weird that in a country that's mostly black, and then probably when you look at all of these let me say across. When we look at all of these owners of these farms, I bet you there's probably all of them right now. That's like if you go in China and then all of the owners of all of the farm factories and things are black people. It's like the legit opposite.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at stuff, seeing about how they got the white South Africans or the white South Africans feel like they've been discriminated against, like with the language and thing in the universities. Because it's crazy, like most of the universities, they speak South Afrikaans and then they teach in Afrikaans, which don't make no sense because it's a minority, a small minority that speaks this language on the island, on the country. But all the universities, the majority of them, you have to know this language, which gives all the white people an unfair advantage versus the majority black people that don't speak this Afrikaans language that's not native to them. Like all of these different things about how disproportionate it's set up. That, like, South Africa was just messed up. I mean, it's not unique necessarily because of the fact that I went to a Dutch school and stuff like that. That's not our language. That's not the language we was originally speaking a couple generations back. Like,
I have no idea.
if I know where my ancestors came from, if we had them documents that they released and stuff like that, then maybe I could know
But
where my people from Ghana.
The
or
thing
wherever.
with the islands is very
spread out.
It like especially with Aruba. Like, what language do we speak? Like, yeah, everybody speaks a certain language, and they all came to Aruba, and then they made a language. Aruba is a very it's a unique, like, because like when you talk about, no, I mean unique in the sense of like, if you look at everybody, like the ancestry, nobody spoke Papiamento before. Like, everybody came to an island. There was probably there were the Indians that lived there, and they don't even know what language they spoke.
I feel like Papiamento, when you look at the language, you see where it comes from, though.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
the same thing with Sranangtongo. I feel like it's all the same. Even the way we speak our English and stuff like that, it's still very similar. Like, the certain words and things is not, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's
little combinations.
Yeah, it's a combination of a lot of languages.
And it's not just straightforward. Like, okay, this because
they got English, it's got Dutch, it's got Spanish,
Portuguese, French. It's a mix of all kind of things of people who I think all played a part in the island, country's history. Like, from colonizers to the enslaved and whatever, all of them mixing in some different ways. The indigenous people,
colonizers. But that's what it is.
Like the colonizers, the people who was indigenous to there and who just mixing all those cultures. You get Papiamento, Sranangtongo, these type of languages, and they kind of tell you, but I don't know what our language was. That's why we need to just,
I know what half my language was.
And that's why we need to learn Wakanda and make that a new language, and then we can all just communicate within Wakanda. That's the language we use to unite Africa.
What do we call the language of Wakanda? Wakanese?
No, but the language that they spoke was the language that they spoke in the movie was the national language from where Nelson Mandela is born.
South Africa.
No, it was South Africa.
The Wakanda is based on Lesotho.
It was. It's a combination of two languages.
I could have sworn it was the language where Nelson Mandela was born in Africa.
It's a South African country. It's the Hosa tribe. It got X somewhere in it or something like that to me. But the Hosa tribe is what the language is based on, and the whole idea of Wakanda, the five tribes coming together was based off of Lesotho. Is a country within South Africa. It's a own republic and thing within South Africa and up in the hills. Like, that's the real place that it's based on.
I for some reason I had a strong feeling it was somewhere with Uganda.
Kugler, and then people was doing too much interviews talking about like where he got his inspiration from, and Umar had mentioned it as well. He had give some other backstory and stuff, looking at similarities between Killmonger character and Shaka Zulu, like the real person Shaka Zulu. Because he was a illegitimate child or whatever that was kind of outcasted away from his tribe, and how he was trying to unite people in some ways and stuff. Because that was what Killmonger was doing. Like, you forgot about everybody outside of you and your little Wakanda and stuff. Like,
the language is Xhosa, Xhosa.
Hosa.
Yeah, Hosa, and that's the language that they spoke in Black Panther as well. That's Mandela's
South Africa.
tongue, yeah.
Oh, so a specific tribe in South Africa then, because I mean, there's other
there's a lot.
Stuff
as
well.
I'm gonna say this again. It might not necessarily be a good thing per se, but the outcome I find is good. The movie get me more interested in learning about African culture. I mean, it's a little bit sad. It takes a movie to fucking get that. But
I'm just gonna say this: I started wearing wood before the movie came out because I got some ignorant people. They come to me like, yeah, I bet you just started wearing wood because you saw Black Panther. I'm like, bitch, my last name's Woods.
That's like people telling me I just learned about Martin Luther King. It's like, my name is King.
Oh no! Yeah. What it kills me is when people call you, but he arrogant calling himself king.
I am the king.
Like,
I are.
You have to think.
I are the king.
Legit, when you refer to me, you have to call me Mr. King. Like, that is my last name.
There was many people that used to ask for my passport, like ID and things. They don't believe it, but yeah, it is.
Shout outs to people with cool last names.
And supposedly my last name used to be Moses.
Yo, that would be
Like
sick, no?
supposedly my true last name. This is something that I need to actually look further in with family and thing. I had to, like, my mother had tell me this, that my grandfather, before it was King, it used to be Moses for whatever reason, and I don't know. I needed to find out the reason as to why it changed and how it changed. But I could have been a Moses.
Moses would be dope.
Like,
Moses would be dope. I just happy I ain't
What's
got.
your last name, Mr. Moses? Yo, what the fuck?
You know, I'm happy I ain't got a religious last name, because then my name would just be biblical as fuck. Joel Nathaniel Moses. You know?
You want to talk about biblical? My last name technically was supposed to be Krishna Mohammed.
Bruh.
Could you imagine traveling on that shit?
Bye. Not in this. Not, bye.
yeah, but you still don't got a typical look necessarily. If you let your beard grow out a little
yeah,
more,
I told him don't do that.
It doesn't matter.
Maybe when you had your hair and
from time to time, see, Mohammed. I get it random. I already just always get random search.
Assume you're a drug dealer. You look like Antillean.
Yeah, your eyes always
look like
look
one of them
puffy, that's the
Antillean drug
thing.
dealers. Especially wearing them shades and thing, you look like an Antillean drug dealer with your baggy clothes.
Fuck up,
With your baggy clothes and
that's wrong.
racial profiling you one time.
Imagine when I actually had the hair for you.
You know, at least people in the airport don't call you like. I got this 3 times already, no.
No.
There was the first time a girl just walked up to me. No, I gave out my passport. She looked at the name and then she was like, "I got a question. Do you play golf? I get it a lot. Or are you a porn star?" So I was like, wait,
Porn?
why porn? And she's like,
the porn could lead to an interesting conversation.
yeah. I asked her like, why porn? And she was like, yeah, Woods, no. I was like,
Okay, that was
just give me
a
my
dull-
passport. Just give me my passport.
That was a dull joke. But it could potentially lead to an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
People just ask me if actually people don't even think. They be like, "You from the States, right?" People just watch me, "You from the States, right?" I be like, "No." But then, granted,
people mistake me for that.
I can't blame them because like when according to us it's Martin, when I was young, I just practically sound like I'm from New York or like one of those places, and then my attire don't really help either.
Yeah.
So
people look at me
understand.
sometimes. I think they confused
yeah,
the way I dress.
Yeah.
And the way I talk. Like,
Yeah.
It's confusing. Yeah. Boy,
Things about time start
hour and
wrapping
10
up.
minutes now.
Yeah,
What?
we don't know what hour.
Yeah, that's why I looked at the time. I was like, yo.
okay.
Yeah, now I had to lean over there, press the camera button again to start back the video recording and
Well,
stuff.
you had
like
lean
that.
over. Wow.
I didn't feel like stopping, pause, and break.
I
And
didn't.
just
No,
turn it back
it's the
on.
fact that I didn't
For y'all
see.
didn't know, King's secret name is King Boo. Man stretches arms and thing. Dragon Ball Z joke.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
Woods.
Hey.
Now with
I had to say something nerdy before we finish the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be the link up without it.
Hey,
I guess.
I
I'm holding it down. Holding it down.
Okay then.
Yeah.
So again, like always, thank you for sticking through this. What episode this is? We didn't even say that it's
35.
Hey, we getting there now. We getting there. Yeah. Again, thank you for sticking through this episode. If you have anything else y'all want us to talk about, any specific topics, let us know. Don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe on the YouTube channel. We're going to have more content out on both social medias, on both Instagram and Facebook soon.
Yeah, soon. We working on some stuff. We're working on some stuff.
Again, and if you have anybody else you want us to have an interview on the podcast, you bought me. Bought me. If you have anybody else y'all want us to have on the up on the podcast, just have a conversation with, or to interview, leave us know as well. Y'all can follow me on Instagram, Mr._Labega. Labega is LABEGA. Go Woods.
Follow me on everything. Bizarre Mental. Just Bizarre Mental. Twitter, Instagram. Actually, it's only Twitter and Instagram, so yeah.
Yeah.
And Mr. King 392, wherever it is, just type that in. You should either find out Mr. King. One of the two.
And with that,
Yeah, we'll see you the next time we link up.
Brah.
bless.